Good evening. Welcome to my June 2024 vlog about divorce. I have the set of questions here and I have extra questions in this notebook. And I will be interviewing 5 people including my sister whom you've seen in 2 prior videos before. um Here's the deal. As if you have undergone a divorce process or and have 2 kids with your partner, what are the things you need to do or reconsider in terms of firstly, the legal process? Like at the court, signing the papers, what do you do? Do you have a plan?
Um, that kind of, no, that doesn't depend. I think in legal possessions, you just really need to stay truthful.
Stay truthful.
Yeah,
Like say the reasons why you want a divorce, stuff like that.
yeah.
Okay. That's I think that's the easy part. Just have to stay truthful, that's your answer. Uh Financially, how divorce and annulment in the Philippines is like really expensive. So how will you deal with the financial burden just to have a divorce?
That depends. If the person you're divorcing,
Oops.
like their moral alignment, are they abusive? Are they problematic? If
Mm-hmm.
they're like not, and you just don't love them anymore, or any other type of reason, you could wait a bit until your money is saved up so you could do the legal proceedings. But if
Mm-hmm.
they're like problematic, then you should probably do it.
Yeah, if they're abusive, it's more of an emergency divorce than
Yeah.
anything. So you wait if the reason's a little bit eh.
Yeah.
How about child custody? How will you split the kids? Like, do you have a set schedule every week, or do you just take a kid and go?
Another
Remember, you have 2 kids for this. What will you do with the 2 of them?
abandonment. Joking.
Oh my
Joking.
god!
Joking.
Wow!
But basically, it also depends on the person you're divorcing.
Mm-hmm.
If they're problematic, then don't give them custody over the children.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can split them. Not the children alone.
Those but children. We don't harm kids. Um. So you're just gonna split their time, like
Yeah.
what will that look like? Like weekdays for mom, weekends for dad, or just like split it in the middle of the week.
I think I like patterns the most, so
Pa-
probably
Patterns.
yeah,
Do you have like a specific pattern you kind of prefer?
like 2 days for the 2 to 3 days for the other parent, and then 2 to 3 days for the second parent.
And
Oh yeah, 3 days for both of them.
how about for the seventh day?
Seventh day, I don't know. They can just fight over it.
You just fight over it. Or like a better option would be to like let the kid pick,
Yeah.
who do they want to spend time with. How will you handle the emotional and psychological impact of the divorce? And how will you handle its impact on your children?
Let's see. The impact would be very great actually. sorry, sorry. Never thought that. So basically, you're probably going to want to talk with your kids about this,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and about how they feel about the person they're divorcing, how they feel about them not having them as a parent anymore, and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So you can regulate their emotions, and you should probably go. And the person talking right now should probably go to therapy as well.
We're gonna get a little personal here, but you do remember the time when mom talked to us both about the issue, right?
Yeah.
Do you think she did a good job in explaining it to us, or did we need more explaining or like more processing? Do
I
you personally think
I personally think the output was good
it's good?
because like she didn't explain too much. Like she kept some hidden for like the older version of us because
We were too young back
yeah,
then.
we're too young. We couldn't handle so much stuff.
Mm-hmm. But she did the best she could in terms
Yeah.
of explaining. Yeah, I think she did well too. She could have been a little less um too much about it. Which I guess she just wanted to explain it really detailed. How about the practical considerations? Like imagine some couples are only married for the practical reason, like their shared insurance or their shared land or shared bank account, stuff like that.
You
Like
can't
they need it for practicality.
you can't just split it because I think it would be wrong to stay with the person who you don't love anymore. It's basically just lying.
Yeah, you're lying.
Both
And
you and your children.
yeah, that would be bad for them. And how will you deal with the post divorce life? After the divorce, what do you plan to do?
I don't know. Let's see. I would probably start trying to get my mind off of things, like start
Mm-hmm.
doing yoga lessons, start meditating, and also trying my best for my children, of
Mm,
course.
okay. So that's your plan.
Yeah, if I
Okay.
ever get married.
If I ever get married. It's not guaranteed. Okay, so thank you for answering the questions. I will now give the stage to my other interviewees. Thank you.
Okay. Uh, to answer the divorce process, oh my goodness. If I had two kids, hopefully, in the first place, hopefully, there's no divorce that would happen. Um, cause for me, my way of thinking is, um, you already went there, you already committed yourself to be in there. But of course, if the relationship is a bit toxic, if it's really affecting you as a person, if it's not helping at all, and if that's the only way, if that's the only way that you could think of doing, of course you should do it in a civil manner, you know, the where both sides would understand. So for me, I would consider who's financially stable. One, whichever side, it may be the dad side or the mother side, and it also depends on my child's age. So for example, if my child's age is my two child's age is like 7 years old and below, I think, of course, it would really go to the mom. But there's a lot of factors to that. Uh, the I don't know, the monetary one. I forgot what's like where you will still fund your child. That's one. Or if they can be able to decide who they wanna live with. So yeah, that's one factor. Um, Monetary. In that case, if it's decided to wherever the child would go with, um, it's important to let both my children know, and let them understand really why we split up, how it would really affect them mentally, maybe physically they might not eat, but most importantly mentally, because it's challenging. It's really challenging when, especially if the child is used to the mother and father being together. So that's one of the challenges that would be common and present. So as long as both me and my partner would be, would work together hand in hand, then the job might be a bit more easier. And yeah, even though you're split up, as long as you're there for the children, then the case might be better.
Let's say that you've hypothetically undergone the divorce process and you had two kids with your partner. What are the things I would do or consider in terms of legal process, financial considerations, child custody and support, emotional and psychological impact, practical considerations, and post divorce life. In my opinion, I think in the legal process, I mean, most importantly, in legal cases like this, I need a lawyer. And for the financial considerations, I would, especially to me as a man, if I got divorced, the woman or my former wife would take half of my money, basically. So what I would do is calculate financially what I need to give in order for me to successfully uh, successfully process the marriage, the divorce, I mean. And for child custody and support, like in this case, we have two kids. What we can do is split between week or between weekends in terms of quality time. For emotional and psychological impact, of course, it's gonna be going to be very sad and very hard thing to get over. But for me personally, I would go to if it hurt me, I would go to therapy. But if it's something that's talked about, I think I would do all right without therapy and just go through with it. Because me personally, I'm a very strong person psychologically and emotionally, and not to brag. And for practical considerations, I think if I, for the child custody and support earlier, this is related. In sharing the children with my former partner, what I can do is be respectful, and even if we're not together anymore or not in that relationship anymore, you still need to show respect in your post divorce life. So that's all. Thank you.
Hello, today I will answer some questions about divorce. First up is how will you handle the legal process? To handle the legal process, I must undergo through the court and file a document for divorce. I shall make myself and my partner agree with having a divorce and have it processed to be settled. How about the finances? How will you handle the cost of divorce? About finances, we know that having a divorce costs a lot, so I should be financially ready and save my income for wanting a divorce and make sure that I have saved up enough for it. In what way do you agree to split custody with your two children? How much should child support be? Knowing that we are going separate ways, we must have a fair agreement in having the kids. Let's say I have my first kid every weekend and my ex husband has the second kid every weekdays. And we switch each week to make it equal. Also, our children could visit their separate parents anytime they want. About child support, it's better to have it calculated based on our income and child care income. How will I handle the emotional impact of the divorce? It takes time to heal from this big disaster, but I should give myself time to finally adapt to a new beginning. I shall release my emotions until I don't feel the pain anymore. There will be a time where I would accept it all. I must make myself distracted and love myself in order to become okay. Next is how will I handle the practical things? If we live under the same house, we should agree on who gets to have the house. For example, I was named after the house, so I shall own it. And for shared bank accounts, we should equally divide it, same with insurance. Or we should talk on who gets more of that. What will I do after? After the divorce is complete, I shall make I shall focus on my financial income in order to give child support and focus on self-love to heal from the divorce. I shall also focus on the kids and having them have a good life and environment even though their parents are in separate ways. That's all. Thank you.
So, There's a lot of questions that immediately arise when talking about divorce. Firstly, does the country allow it? Because here in the Philippines, it's still illegal to have a divorce. Secondly, does their religion allow for a divorce? Because, for example, my religion is heavily against divorce, so much so that it would be grounds for expulsion from the church. Thirdly, what are the requirements for the divorce? In certain countries, like the United States, they have residency requirements that differ from state to state, while other countries, like the United Kingdom, requires a marriage to have lasted for more than a year to be eligible for a divorce. Additionally, what are the grounds for a divorce? There are multiple reasons why a marriage would be dissolved, from adultery to abuse or abandonment, which are grounds for a fault divorce. There are also cases where a divorce is issued because the marriage cannot be repaired, or that the spouses can no longer live together as a couple. This type of divorce is often called a no fault divorce, which does not necessarily need to prove any wrongdoing from both spouses, and a mutual agreement significantly simplifies the process. Details like financial considerations can vary from case to case, and so does custody and support, which are outlined in the petition, along with the grounds for divorce and property division, which is then filed to the court. As for emotional and psychological impacts, therapy sessions can help mitigate the negative influences a divorce brings, especially for those who have gone through divorces on the grounds of a default fault divorce. Divorces are almost always emotionally charged, but with a strong support system, such as supportive friends and family, the path of recovery can be a smooth one.